Hey there, survivors. I'm JitWire, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today, I wanted to cover something that is a core aspect of the Long Dark: failure. In the Long Dark, survival is harsh, and failure is inevitable. You'll freeze, starve, or fall prey to a hungry wolf. But here's the secret: every death is a lesson. This game isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it. In this video, we'll explore why dying is just another step towards mastering the wilds, and that failure isn't the end. So, let's get started. In the Long Dark, failure is part of the design. The world is brutal, unpredictable, and entirely indifferent to your survival. You'll face harsh weather, limited resources, and deadly wildlife, all while trying to figure out how to stay alive. Unlike many games, the Long Dark doesn't hold your hand. There are no step-by-step tutorials in survival mode. Survival is earned through experience, and that experience often comes from making mistakes. Maybe you'll wander too far from shelter during a blizzard, or you'll spend your last match lighting a fire that doesn't catch. These moments may feel like setbacks, but they're actually the game teaching you its rules. The beauty of the Long Dark lies in its ability to challenge you, pushing you to adapt, improve, and persevere. Every failure is a lesson waiting to be learned. When you die, it's not just the end of a run, it's the start of understanding what went wrong and how to do better next time. The game isn't trying to punish you, it's trying to teach you, and failure is its sharpest tool. Every time you lose a run, there's a reason. Maybe you ignored the weather and froze to death, or perhaps you wasted precious calories sprinting everywhere and didn't have enough food to recover. These moments can feel frustrating, but they're also where growth happens. When you fail, take a moment to reflect. What could you have done differently? The lessons you take away will make all the difference on your next attempt. The stats screen after death is more than just a recap. It's a guide. It tells you how long you survived, what consumed your resources, and where things went wrong. Use this information. Did you spend too much time scavenging instead of preparing for the night? Did you carry too much weight and slow yourself down? Each stat is a clue, showing you where to focus your improvements. But it's not just about fixing mistakes. It's about recognizing progress. Your first fire that didn't blow out in the wind? That's a win. Making it through your first night without freezing? Another win. These small victories add up, and over time you'll notice that what once seemed impossible becomes second nature. Failure is not the enemy, it's the path forward. The more you embrace it, the more resilient you'll become. Every death makes you smarter, more resourceful, and better prepared for the next attempt. Every death in the Long Dark carries a lesson, and those early missteps are some of the most valuable. As you struggle to survive, the game will teach you the hard way what's truly important. The key is to pay attention and let those lessons shape your approach to survival. And because this is kinda supposed to be a guide, I'll share my top 5 lessons I've learned from failure. Lesson 1. Essentials come first. Your first priority is always the basics: food, water, warmth, and shelter. It's easy to get distracted by looting every building or wandering off to explore, but without these essentials, survival is impossible. If you froze to death because you underestimated how quickly the temperature drops, you've learned to prioritize warmth and keep track of nearby shelters. If dehydration took you out, you know to boil water as soon as you build a fire. Lesson 2. Time is a resource. In the Long Dark, every decision costs time, and time is just as important as food or fuel. You might die from spending too long searching for supplies and failing to return to shelter before dark. That's the game teaching you to manage your time better. Always ask yourself, what's the most important thing I can do with the daylight I have left? Lesson 3. Plan for the worst. The wilderness is unpredictable, and if you're not prepared, it will catch you off guard. A sudden blizzard might force you to stay put, draining your resources. A wolf encounter could leave you bleeding and weak. These situations may feel unfair, but they're a reminder to always plan for emergencies. Keep extra matches, carry a few extra sticks for firewood, and keep essential supplies with you to help you get through tough situations while away from the safety of shelter. Lesson 4. Resourcefulness is key. Every death often highlights the importance of making the most of what you have. Running low on food? Learn to set snares, fish, or harvest cattails. Is your gear falling apart? Collect cloth and leather to repair it. Every object has value and every tool has a purpose. The more creative you are with what you find, the longer you'll last. Lesson 5. Patience pays off. The wilderness rewards careful, deliberate action. Rushing into a wolf's territory or going into large, open areas with freezing winds can end your run quickly. These early deaths are reminders to slow down, plan your moves, and think 2 steps ahead. Survival in the Long Dark is a marathon, not a sprint. Each of these lessons comes from experience, and often from failure. The more you pay attention to what the game is teaching you, the stronger your survival instincts will become. Surviving in the long dark isn't just about avoiding death, it's about learning how to bounce back from failure and keep moving forward. Resilience is the heart of survival, and the game challenges you to build it, one lesson at a time. Instead of seeing failure as the end, view it as part of your journey. You didn't fail because you're bad at the game, you failed because you're still learning its rules. Every mistake is an opportunity for growth. Maybe you've lost your run, but you've gained knowledge that will help you go further next time. Resilience starts with the realization that failure is progress. In the beginning, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. The wilderness is vast and the threats are many. Instead of trying to survive forever, focus on smaller, achievable goals. Make it through one night, find enough supplies to last another day, or successfully light a fire in bad weather. By breaking down survival into smaller steps, you'll build confidence and momentum. Another big part of resilience is learning to reflect and adapt. When things go wrong, ask yourself why it happened. Did you mismanage your supplies, underestimate the weather, overextend your exploration? By identifying what went wrong, you'll know how to avoid the same mistakes again. The long dark rewards experimentation, but experimentation can sometimes lead to failure, and that's okay. Try crafting items you've never used, explore areas you're unsure about, or push your limits to see how far you can go. Even if it doesn't work out, you'll learn something valuable for future runs. The more you're willing to test your limits, the stronger your survival skills will become. Resilience grows when you recognize how far you've come. Look back at mistakes you've overcome and skills you've gained. Maybe you survived longer than before, hunted your first rabbit, or figured out how to navigate a dangerous area. These victories, no matter how small, are proof of your growth as a survivor. And there will be moments when the game feels impossible, when a wolf attacks and ends your run, or you freeze to death despite your best efforts. It's normal to feel frustrated. Take a break if you need to, but don't give up. In the long dark, resilience is your greatest tool. With each failure, you're not just surviving, you're becoming stronger, smarter, and more prepared to face whatever the wilderness throws at you. Failure isn't the end, it's a step forward. Every mistake teaches you, every setback strengthens you, and every death brings you closer to mastering the quiet apocalypse. Survival isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. So don't give up, even when the world feels stacked against you. Keep learning, keep adapting, and keep moving forward. You've got this. What was your biggest failure in the long dark? And what did you learn from it? I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, survivors. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments, as it helps me and the channel out a lot. Until next time, stay warm, stay safe, and keep on surviving.